Good evening, high school football fans. This is High School Football America for September the 3rd, 2015. I'm Jeff Fisher, host of the show and founder and editor-in-chief of High School Football America and highschoolfootballamerica.com. Welcome to the Labor Day weekend, another big weekend of high school football after last weekend. I don't know if it can get any better. Let's just call it topsy-turvy as the number 1, 4, and 5 teams in the High School Football America preseason top 25 go down. De La Salle, number 1, losing in Texas to Euless Trinity, and we'll have a chat with Chris Jensen, the head coach at Euless Trinity, first up on the show in just a couple of minutes about that big game. And then number 4, earlier in the day on Saturday, losing to number 21, Miami Central, going down 38-14 to DeMatha. Elijah Brooks, the head coach at DeMatha, also on tonight's show. Number 5, DeSoto, losing. They'll try and bounce back with a game against IMG Academy out of Florida this weekend. And for all of you asking, and it's happened a lot this week, the poll, it has never been meant to be changed. We do a preseason poll, which is based on our algorithm and a little bit of opinion, and we have always, since we implemented the algorithm in 2013, waited until everyone got started before we put out our first in-season poll. And with Pennsylvania and New Jersey starting this weekend, Pittsburgh Central Catholic from Pennsylvania ranked number 22 in the preseason poll. We have a plethora of teams from the Big North United, right on the brink. So we didn't want to drop teams, even though we had all these upsets. And that's what everybody said. Well, you had all these upsets, you've got to do something. No, we don't have to do anything. I guess what I am rethinking is whether preseason polls are necessary. We know they're not. It doesn't really get started until the games begin on the field. Everybody would probably complain if we didn't have a preseason poll. So, we're just going to, stick to our guns. We believe what we do here at High School Football America with our proprietary algorithm is the right thing. And for all of you that have been chomping at the bit to see where your team has fallen as a result of last week's big upsets, check in on Sunday. Every Sunday, we are the first to release our poll. Sunday, we will release our first in-season High School Football America Top 25 poll. I will point this out, and I guess I'm going to brag a little bit about it. Everybody's saying how huge an upset it was that De La Salle went down. And granted, everyone thought De La Salle was going to run, to the national championship without, many bumps in the road. We have Euless Trinity ranked number 23 in our preseason top 25. No one had them in the top 25. So, not as big an upset as you would expect when you use a formula like we do for our high school football rankings. So, anyway, big week ahead. Tomorrow night, Bishop Gorman taking on Bingham. That's a matchup of top 25 teams. Bingham, number 25. Bishop Gorman, number 3 in the preseason poll, and obviously moving up. I did do something last week for some of our friends in Allen who they are the 3-time defending national champs. I did run the algorithm, and if we would have put out a poll this week, number 1 would have been Allen, number 2 would have been Bishop Gorman, and number 3 would have been Mallard Creek from North Carolina. So there, if you're into that sort of thing, that's what would have happened. Another big game this week, and we're going to talk to Coach Elijah Brooks from DeMatha about it. DeMatha travels to Florida. Last week, Florida traveled to DeMatha. This week, the Stags go to Florida to take on American Heritage, which is off to a great start. They have a win that doesn't count into the record as they knocked off number 20 in our poll, IMG Academy, in the Kickoff Classic. That game did not count because of the way things are set up in Florida, but that'll be a dandy matchup there. Hey, make sure that you check out our other rankings that we're putting out. We have our SoCal Top 25 and our California Top 25. We put out our first California Top 25 ever using our algorithm, and we're going to be spreading the algorithm across the country, doing some regional rankings once this weekend is in the books. Looking forward to going to a game tonight, a big game in Southern California, Narbonne and Poly. They're number 6 and number 7. Poly 6, Narbonne number 7. 19 starters back for the Gauchos of Narbonne. The big news tonight for Poly is 5-star quarterback Malik Henry could be in the starting lineup, waiting for the paperwork to come through from the CIF, but the saga of Malik Henry may come to an end tonight in the game at Narbonne for the Jackrabbits. He, of course, left Westlake here in Southern California, went to IMG for a couple of months. He's a Florida State verbal commit. He came back to Southern California and will maybe be in uniform tonight. We'll have highlights for you on highschoolfootballamerica.com this evening. Speaking of Southern California, looking forward to tomorrow, and we will have Mark Soto, the founder of the Honor Bowl, on the show tonight. The Honor Bowl, 4 big games in Southern California, 7 great teams from Southern California, plus Eastside Catholic in the top 50 of High School Football America. They knocked off Bellevue in the state championship in 3 and Washington State last year. They will be in the house tomorrow. I'll be traveling with the teams over to Camp Pendleton at nearby. It's right near Oceanside where the 4 games will be played. The Honor Bowl, it merges the best of high school football and honors the men and women that serve this country currently and our veterans. It's a wonderful event, and looking forward tomorrow to seeing how these young men will be inspired as they go to Camp Pendleton and talk to some of the people that defend this country. So looking forward to that. Looking forward now to talking about our partners. You've been hearing about them all season long. We're so excited. Echo 1612 growing leaps and bounds. These guys are the guys that created instant replay on your sideline system. No Wi-Fi, no cellular connection, no data plan. It's coaches doing it for coaches. Yes, coaches invented this. Other people are trying to catch up, and that's why it's called catch up. When you're first, everybody's trying to catch up to you. Check them out, echo1612.com. Great group of guys. Again, they're coaches doing it for coaches, not a bunch of eggheads sitting there trying to figure out how to do things. Crossover.com/football. Get your free demo. Crossover, it's compatible with everything, including Huddle. They will break down your game film for you, whether it's yours or your opponent that's coming up. They break it down in concise ways. Jason Strunk, head coach at Lubbock in Texas, loves it, loves the tagging. It just saves you all that time. Coaches, you know how much time you spend breaking down game film. You can hear your wife, your girlfriend, your partner, your children wondering where the heck you are while you're there in the office trying to break down the game film. Crossover will do it for you. It's great. It's cost-effective. Strunky says it's going to save him $10,000 this year. And don't forget to read the turnaround, by the way. They have Andrews coming up this week, do the Lubbock Westerners. You can check it out at highschoolfootballamerica.com. Again, it's crossoverwithak.com/football for your free demo, or just click on the banner ads that we have on High School Football America for Crossover and Echo. Also, the good folks at Southern Sport, the TDI Razor, the Spats, the debris inhibitor razor, keeping those pesky rubber pellets from field turf out of your shoes. And boy, they can get all over the place. 23 great colors. You can get a discount on your order by using the code HSFA when you visit their website at TDI Razor, razor with a U, TDI Razor, RAZUR.com. And all throughout the weekend, beginning tonight. And actually, we had some games on Tuesday in Arkansas. Make sure you go to our searchable ScoreStream scoreboards. Yes, all of the scores from around the nation. We break it out in many different ways. We've got our top 25 scoreboard on the homepage. We've got state-by-state scoreboards. We've got Southern California scoreboards. We've got everything that you need to find your favorite team. And here's the cool part about ScoreStream. You can also get the app. And if you're at a game tonight, score along. Yeah, that's all you have to do. Get the app downloaded in either the iTunes Store or Google Play, and you'll have what's becoming one of the hottest apps in the country. I think Derek Owen, the founder of ScoreStream, said they're up to number 8 in the iTunes Store when it comes to a sports app. And wow, that's a lot of stuff. And finally, reminder, follow along when we're not on the air. 2-minute drill with our partners at USA Today High School Sports, USA Today, HSS.com. Every Tuesday and Thursday, we do our special podcast for them, but we also get to share content back and forth. Josh Barnett and the gang there at USA Today. Great group of guys. Jim Halley was on the show a couple of weeks ago when the Super 25 came out. You can go back and listen to that in our archives at highschoolfootballamerica.com. Keep up with the daily dose from the 2MD. 2-minute drill at High School Football America. Social media, our Twitter handle is HSFB America. Facebook, facebook.com/High School Football America. That's about it. We've got our YouTube channel, lots of video up there. We had video, post-game sound last week. We went to the big game out here, Mater Day, number 18 in our preseason poll. We got that one right. We had them higher than anybody. The Monarchs, a big game against Tesoro coming up tomorrow night. Go to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/HSFB America. Okay, taking a break. Again, our guest tonight on the show, Chris Jensen from Euless Trinity in Texas, Elijah Brooks from DeMatha in Maryland, and Mark Soto from the Honor Bowl. Chris Jensen coming up when we come back. You're listening to High School Football America on the Artist First Radio Network. Instant replays on a high school football sideline? Seriously? Yes, the future is here with Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System. Echo's cutting-edge technology was the first to the market 2 years ago. Echo delivers instant replay to your sideline on an iPad within seconds of a play being finished so that you can make tomorrow's coaching changes today. This NFHS-approved product may be the biggest change in high school football since the invention of the helmet. Coaches, you'll gain a competitive edge by adding Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System to your coaching toolbox. How cool is this? The Echo Instant Replay Sideline System works with both your current booth and end zone cameras, plus, and this is an important point, Echo works without any cellular connection, data plans, or internet. The list of high school football programs using Echo 1612 system is growing daily, meaning your opponent may already have a game time advantage. You don't want to be left out, do you? The Echo 1612 advantage is simple. Echo plus an iPad equals instant replay on your sideline that improves your game planning. Seriously, you'll be making coaching adjustments in real time, not the day after. Except no copycats, Echo 1612 is the best on the market. Echo 1612's cutting-edge technology helps you make tomorrow's adjustments today. Learn more at echo1612.com. Field turf rubber pellets, be gone. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is a seamless outer sock that was specifically designed to keep crumb rubber and other fine debris from artificial or grass playing surfaces out of an athlete's shoes and socks, thus keeping such debris out of gym bags and locker rooms. The Razor, spelled R-A-Z-U-R, is favored by athletes who want the look of tape, by trainers who no longer have the time to tape only for show, and by moms who no longer want that crumb rubber in the house. The Debris Inhibitor Razor is made in America. It's 70% nylon and 30% spandex, making it extra lightweight and very durable, and it's backed by a 1-year performance guarantee. The Debris Inhibitor Razor covers just the right amount of a player's shoe while keeping those shoelaces tight. It's fully customizable, machine washable, and more importantly, it's easy to get on and off. The Debris Inhibitor Razor comes in 23 colors, and sizes are youth, medium, large, and for that extra big foot, extra large. Founded in 2010 by former University of Mississippi All-SEC football player Carl Hoppy Langley III, Southern Sport Inc. created the Debris Inhibitor to improve athletic performance by protecting athletes, allowing them to look and feel better with technically advanced products engineered with superior fabric construction, patented design, and proven innovation. Get a discount on your order by using the High School Football America code HSFA when you order at TDIRazor.com. That's razor spelled with a U at TDIRazor.com. Listen up, football coaches. You need to check out a new scouting film solution called Crossover. That's Crossover with a K. Crossover Intelligence for Football gives you the edge you need to defeat your opponents. They not only break down and analyze scouting games for you, but they give you interactive tendency reports to diagnose your opponent's strengths and weaknesses. Crossover is your personal advanced scout, accessible from any mobile device or PC, and even integrates with your existing film platform like Huddle. Just transfer your scouting film from your existing video exchange service to the Crossover website, and in as little as 12 hours, your film will be completely indexed and tagged. Each play will become its own clip, allowing you to search the footage for anything you'd like. Their interactive down and distance reports will let you visualize your opponent's play calls in every situation or formation. Crossover Intelligence will give you the scouting edge you need to defeat your opponents. Go to crossover.com/football to sign up for a quick 5-minute demo to see how it can work for your team. That's crossover with a K, crossover.com/football. High school sports fans, check out USA Today High School Sports, America's leading platform for high school football. The Super 25 team rankings and expert American Family Insurance All USA list have been determining the best of the best nationally and locally for more than 3 decades. Be sure to check out USA Today, HSS.com, the best in the game for everything high school football. This portion of High School Football America brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Tony the Tiger reminding all you dads out there, whenever you share your love and your passion for the game of football with the kids, you sit down and you do it over a bowl of Frosted Flakes. Well, it's Thursday night, but we taped this first interview here on Monday, so we're getting the freshness of the energy. It happened Saturday night. Top-ranked De La Salle traveled to Texas to take on Euless Trinity, and the Trojans come away with a big 26-21 victory, a game that was seen on national television on ESPN2. It's had everything buzzing all week long, and the head coach, Chris Jensen, is on the line to talk about how the Trojans did it, how they came away with a big win, and we're going to talk about his first year. That was a pretty darn big game as well, and he's on the line to talk now. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Thank you.
Let's first start with how it feels. Here you are, I guess, less than 48 hours away when we're taping this. Has it worn off yet, and what's the feeling around town yet?
Oh, everyone's just proud of our kids. Just the way that they played. It was a lot of pressure, or could have been a lot of pressure on the kids with obviously the outstanding opponent in De La Salle and the nationally televised game, expectations, California, Texas, all the stuff that they'd heard all summer. I was just proud of how they handled all of that and the way they played, and really it came to the point where it looked like De La Salle could go down and score at the end, and even if that had happened, I would have still been proud of the way our kids performed. They played a clean game, they played a hard-fought game, and it was really one of the classic Trinity-style football games that I've been a part of, and I've been here 15 years. So just overall, just proud of the kids.
Chris Jensen on the line on High School Football America tonight. Now, no longer the new head coach. He's actually got a game under his belt. He was the offensive coordinator. As you said, you've been there for a long time under the legendary Steve Lineweaver. We'll talk about that in a second. But I guess, is it all downhill for the rest of your head coaching career? You start by beating De La Salle. Do you just say, that's it? No, I'm just teasing. How much pressure was on you? You talked about the kids, but did you feel any pressure starting your career against a fairly decent program?
Man, those guys are super good. I'm telling you, they are every bit as good as everyone said they were going to be. Pressure is self-inflicted. It's just one of those things that we just kind of got tunnel vision and focused on us and not everything else, and it was getting our team as good as we could get it and play our best game. Then we can live with the result. And if you truly do that, you take the pressure off yourself, and if you do come up short and you played your best game, then you can live with the result. So I've been, people ask me about the pressure. It wasn't nearly as much pressure as I felt calling plays for several years. It was those guys do, the game night pressure on those offensive and defensive coordinators is really big, because they've really got to be thinking on their toes, and the head coach is I never say that the hay is in the barn or whatever type thing once we finish practice, but the head coach does a majority of his work leading up to the game, and then just kind of manage it once it starts. So I think one of the things that took the pressure off is that we were actually the underdog, and fortunately, we're in a program where I think I can count on one hand where we've been the underdog over the last 15 years. So that gave us a little bit of freedom, too. We weren't expected to win. But I think our kids bought into the fact that you can play the role of the underdog, but it's important to believe that you're going to win the football game. So.
Yep. Makes sense. Chris Jensen on the line tonight. Euless Trinity picking up a huge win on Saturday, knocking off top-ranked De La Salle, ranked number 1 by us, by USA Today and Max Preps. Before we dive into some of the players and kind of talk about that, we mentioned Coach Lineweaver and obviously you taking over for him. I think I read somewhere you're 22 years together. I had the pleasure of seeing you guys 2010 against Pearland in the championship game in person, and what I saw on TV on Saturday night, it didn't look like there was a whole lot of change between a Lineweaver team and a Chris Jensen team. What were the biggest changes, if any, that you made during spring ball and since you've taken over to get you to the point you were on Saturday night?
Well, when the administration decided to hire from within, and I ended up getting the job, the whole kind of thinking behind the whole thing was to continue what has been laid in place, and so. There was not a lot to change. We're always looking for ways to improve our program, and that's no different than when Coach Lineweaver was here. We're always looking for ways to make changes if it's going to help us. But the biggest change that I made was, replacing myself. I didn't lose any coaches over the coaching transition. We had the exact same staff in place, and then I was able to hire Gerald Brixey as offensive coordinator, who comes from the same background as I did with the Katy offense, Katy down in the Houston area. And so he actually coached there, and that's where we got our offense in 2001. So the base of the offense and the mentality of the offense didn't change because we hired a guy that is from that same system.
Chris Jensen on the line tonight. Euless Trinity, we're taping this on Monday, so they're very fresh off the victory over De La Salle. And you had some good talent coming back at the skill position. You had some good talent coming back. Let's talk about some of the kids you were real proud of on Saturday night that were able to step up and get you to that victory.
Yeah, well, obviously, J-Ron Wilson was his 29th game for us. I mean, he's played 2 14-game seasons with us, and we knew what we had with him, and he just gets better and better. And then Tyler Nate, this is his second season to ever play quarterback, so he was better and more confident going into this. And same with Tyler. Tyler had played his entire sophomore and junior year with us, so some experience in there. Especially in the first game, with no matter who you play in that first game, there's some first game jitters, and to have some solid veteran guys in there to lead us was big. Our offensive line played really well. That's probably the best defensive front we've gone against ever. And that's saying something. They were solid, well coached, physical group. And our offensive line held up and even got better of them some. And, it was just overall offensively just a very gritty performance. And then the defensive side of the ball, we only had 2 returning starters, but we had several guys that contributed a lot in the previous year. So we were really happy with the amount of we just made a few fewer mistakes than De La Salle did, and that was the difference in the game. You're always going to have first game mistakes.
Exactly.
We just made a few less.
Chris Jensen on the line, Euless Trinity's new head coach. Now 1 game in the books, 1-0 as his career record as the head coach, and not a bad one against De La Salle. Coach, one of the things that gets talked about all the time when you play a De La Salle is their offense isn't something you see a lot in the Veer and all that. I would assume that your scout team and your defensive guys in there going against the offense going against the defense probably helped. How did you prepare for that offense going into the game?
Well, that was a chore for our defense to get that look, and it was something our defensive coaches did a great job in training our scout offense to give a picture that was realistic, because that's the triple option is something that you can't just put on in a week or two, so. They had to do a good job of at least having some imagination in that we may not have the great well-executed play by our scout team, but we can work on fitting and responsibility football. And one of the things our defensive staff did is they didn't use a football. They didn't use a football when they ran the outside veer or whatever. And trying to get our kids, it doesn't matter where the ball is. One guy has dive, one has quarterback, one has pitch. So I thought that was pretty creative on their part.
And now the big question, a season is not won in one game. Texas, as we know, is a meat grinder, especially at the level you guys play at. You've got some big district games coming up in District 7 there. But what are you going to do this week? This is Monday when we're talking. What are you going to do to bring the kids off of this and say, okay, guys, we're just 1-0 right now? Right.
Well, we addressed that today with the kids is, the biggest improvement seems to be within any football season the week between the first game and the second game. You've played at full speed, and we're blessed that we play a tough schedule, and this is De La Salle is as tough as anybody. You see what you can and can't do, and you fix the mistakes that you made and show improvement against the Rockwall team that we're going to be playing Friday night. Just fix something is what we say. It just whatever mistakes you made, make new ones. Don't keep making the same mistakes over and over, and show improvement. And that's one of the things about playing such a good team early is, we're not afraid to lose a game early because we know we're going to learn from it and it'll pay off.
And before we let you go here, you talked about how much it was important for the defensive guys to get yourself together going into game one, and certainly you said you've kept the staff. So why don't we give some props to some of this coaching staff that got it done too? It wasn't just the kids and wasn't just you. Let's get some of those unsung coaches a little bit of prop here, and talk about them. Get them in by name so the audience knows who they are.
Well, our offensive line coach has been here 15 years, Craig Kanzler. He did another great job. It doesn't matter who we're playing or what they run on defense. He does the same thing over and over and over, and that's what makes those guys good. Very routine-oriented guy. And I mentioned Gerald Brixey, our new offensive coordinator. That was a big win for him because he was under his own pressure being the new guy. Mm-hmm. And then, Jay Fitch and David Ryan also with our offensive staff just pitching in and really kind of covering. It's kind of been a rearranged, I guess, offensive staff slightly. And our receiver coach, T.J. Culberson, did a great job getting those guys ready, kind of learning some of the new terminology. Nothing too major, but some new things. And then on the other side of the ball, Donald Tryon, again, been here 15 years, and he put together a good plan where the kids could play fast. And Will Averett, our secondary coach, kept them from hitting the big one. Well, they overthrew one, but we won't say anything. And the linebacker coach, John Thompson, Dave Everett, and D-line coach, Moses Vakalahi, all those guys, they just everyone, it was a huge win for the whole staff, kind of just being, we've all been here forever, but kept getting called the new, we're the new staff, But it was couldn't be a better start.
Well, that's why I wanted to get you to get their names in there because, like I said, just one person doesn't do it. And
no.
Now I'm going to give you the final question as we go away here and move on, which is as you look back on it, and now you're going to walk into a booster club meeting. And again, we're taping this, folks, on Monday night. Now, I'm assuming you're the toast of the town. Can you even imagine what the reception's going to be like when you walk in there tonight?
I don't know. It's going to be a lot better than I had envisioned.
And let's leave it that. Like George Costanza, go out on a high note. I like that way.
That's right. I'm out.
All right. Well, Coach, thank you so much. Congratulations and continued success throughout the year for you and your team, and appreciate you joining us tonight.
Well, thanks for your interest. Thank you very much.
Yep. Taking a break. Coming back with more. You're listening to High School Football America. Instant replays on a high school football sideline? Seriously? Yes, the future is here with Echo 1612's Instant Replay Sideline System. Echo's cutting-edge technology was the first to the market 2 years ago. Echo delivers instant replay to your sideline on an iPad within seconds of a play being finished so that you can make tomorrow's coaching changes today. This NFHS-approved product may be the biggest change in high school football since the invention of the helmet. Coaches, you'll gain a competitive edge by adding Echo 1612's instant replay sideline system to your coaching toolbox. How cool is this? The Echo Instant Replay Sideline System works with both your current booth and end zone cameras, plus, and this is an important point, Echo works without any cellular connection, data plans, or internet. The list of high school football programs using Echo 1612 system is growing daily, meaning your opponent may already have a game time advantage. You don't want to be left out, do you? The Echo 1612 advantage is simple. Echo plus an iPad equals instant replay on your sideline that improves your game planning. Seriously, you'll be making coaching adjustments in real time, not the day after. Except no copycats, Echo 1612 is the best on the market. Echo 1612's cutting-edge technology helps you make tomorrow's adjustments today. Learn more at echo1612.com. Field turf rubber pellets, be gone. The debris inhibitor Razor is a seamless outer sock that was specifically designed to keep crumb rubber and other fine debris from artificial or grass playing surfaces out of an athlete's shoes and socks, thus keeping such debris out of gym bags and locker rooms. The Razor, spelled R-A-Z-U-R, is favored by athletes who want the look of tape, by trainers who no longer have the time to tape only for show, and by moms who no longer want that crumb rubber in the house. The debris inhibitor Razor is made in America. It's 70% nylon and 30% spandex, making it extra lightweight and very durable, and it's backed by a 1-year performance guarantee. The debris inhibitor Razor covers just the right amount of a player's shoe while keeping those shoelaces tight. It's fully customizable, machine washable, and more importantly, it's easy to get on and off. The debris inhibitor Razor comes in 23 colors and sizes are youth, medium, large, and for that extra big foot, extra large. Founded in 2010 by former University of Mississippi All-SEC football player Carl Hoppy Langley III, Southern Sport Inc. created the debris inhibitor to improve athletic performance by protecting athletes, allowing them to look and feel better with technically advanced products engineered with superior fabric construction, patented design, and proven innovation. Get a discount on your order by using the High School Football America code HSFA when you order at TDIRazor.com. That's Razor spelled with a U at TDIRazor.com. Listen up, football coaches. You need to check out a new scouting film solution called Crossover. That's Crossover with a K. Crossover Intelligence for Football gives you the edge you need to defeat your opponents. They not only break down and analyze scouting games for you, but they give you interactive tendency reports to diagnose your opponent's strengths and weaknesses. Crossover is your personal advanced scout, accessible from any mobile device or PC, and even integrates with your existing film platform like Huddle. Just transfer your scouting film from your existing video exchange service to the Crossover website, and in as little as 12 hours, your film will be completely indexed and tagged. Each play will become its own clip, allowing you to search the footage for anything you'd like. Their interactive down and distance reports will let you visualize your opponent's play calls in every situation or formation. Crossover Intelligence will give you the scouting edge you need to defeat your opponents. Go to crossover.com/football to sign up for a quick 5-minute demo to see how it can work for your team. That's Crossover with a K, crossover.com/football. High school sports fans, check out USA Today High School Sports, America's leading platform for high school football. The Super 25 team rankings and expert American Family Insurance All-USA list have been determining the best of the best nationally and locally for more than 3 decades. Be sure to check out USA Today, HSS.com, the best in the game for everything high school football. This portion of High School Football America brought to you by Kellogg's Frosted Flakes. Tony the Tiger reminding all you dads out there, whenever you sit down and share that love and passion for the game of football with the kids, you do it over a bowl of Frosted Flakes. Well, you just heard Chris Jensen down in Texas talk about Euless Trinity's huge win over former number one in the USA Today Super 25 De La Salle. And just as big a win, maybe overshadowed a little bit because it came first in the day, but on ESPN was the huge win by DeMatha out of Maryland, taking down former number two Miami Central from Florida. A win that was just kind of never in doubt from about the second quarter on. 38-14 the final. The Stags were actually up 38-0, and they've got a tough schedule, do the Stags, and they've got a big one coming up this weekend as now they have to travel down to the Miami area to take on American Heritage from Plantation and Coach Elijah Brooks, who has to get the team off of the high of Saturday, and looking ahead to this Saturday is on the line to talk about what was a great win and what could be a great season ahead. Welcome to the show, Coach.
Thanks a lot. I appreciate the invitation.
Well, we're happy to have you on here. You've done some great things since taking over the program there in 2011. You were an alum. We'll talk about that on this little conversation here. But let's just start with dialing it back a little bit. And I know we've already kind of looked ahead to who you have Saturday. But what was the feeling, around campus and on the team this week after such a great performance on national television Saturday? How much excitement was in the locker room and on campus?
Well, I think, it was phenomenal. Our entire program, our entire DeMatha community was extremely excited and proud of our performance. That was a game that we were looking forward to, since the winter. It's something that we had our eyes on for a long time. It was great that our kids came out and performed well, and it just created a great atmosphere here in our DeMatha community.
And doesn't get any easier aside from the fact you've got American Heritage coming up. You've got LaSalle from Pennsylvania, a great Philadelphia Catholic League school there. You've also got, obviously, your Washington Catholic Association schedule coming up, and your arch rival there at Good Counsel. But let's talk about how you, as the coach, have to make these kids realize that nothing was won other than game one on Saturday, and you've got a long trip to Miami coming up this weekend. What were some of the things you talked to the kids about?
It's definitely a challenge when you're dealing with 16, 17, 18-year-olds. Is you win a big game and you have everyone telling you how great you are, and it's important for us to refocus and get these guys ready to go to play a great team in American Heritage. So what we've done is we just made sure we focus on going 1-0 this week, and make sure that we let them know and see how good American Heritage is. I think they understand that we can't afford to walk into this game not prepared. So our guys have refocused, and they've had a good week of practice so far, and we're ready to head to Florida in a couple days.
And obviously, American Heritage, a pretty darn good football team, knocking off in the kickoff classic, didn't count in their records, knocking off IMG Academy, number 2 at the time in the Super 25 for USA Today. American Heritage is now in the top 25, and you guys have put yourself in position for a national championship, number 3 this week. One of the things that I like to talk about, and I've done this with several coaches, especially as more and more of these big interstate matchups come down, as private schools have to go, what it's like to try and schedule now. These long trips, it's tough as the team that's got to travel. You got about 1,000-mile trip. Miami Central had the same thing. That's also a hurdle. Aside from the fact that you got to go on the road and play another tough team, is there anything special that you're doing to get the kids ready for a trip like that? I don't know. Maybe you have some kids that have never even been on a plane, but what's the logistics like for you?
That it's always, tough to travel, and especially travel, such a far distance. What we try to do is try to keep it as college prep as we can. We try to keep the guys on a tight schedule, try to allow them to have some downtime, but making sure that they, remember that they're on a business trip. But ultimately, it's nothing like, playing at home, where you're in your comfort zone, in your own bed, so it's something that, no matter what, you have to get adjusted to. We've had guys who traveled before, so the experience does help. And, we're hoping and we're confident that we'll be able to handle it the right way.
Talking with Elijah Brooks tonight, the head coach at DeMatha High School. A huge win over Miami Central this past Saturday. A big game coming up against American Heritage, and maybe a real special 2015 ahead of you. Let's kind of go back now to Saturday and talk about some of the players that did wonderful things for you. But before we go there, a lot of people were just astounded by what happened to your very good wide receiver, Darrell Turner Jr. I know he's out for the year, a broken fibula. First off, how's he doing? And I know the team probably rallied around Saturday. I wasn't there, but we saw that kind of happen on the broadcast. How's Darrell doing?
Darrell's doing okay. He's as good as he can be. Suffering the injury, and I think he's such an incredible kid. He missed his sophomore season, because of a broken left leg, and so to see a kid work so hard to get back and had such a great junior campaign. He was truly excited for the sophomore season. So, he's confident. We're all confident he'll make a full recovery. But no one can get around. He was the heart and soul of our team, and a senior captain. The loss hurts, and our heart goes out to him. He wanted to have a fantastic senior year, but he'll just have to contribute in other ways, and we know he'll do that.
And it's one of those weird things as a coach. You obviously never want to see something as horrific as that happen, but in some ways it seemed like the kids rallied, which teenagers, you never know how that can go with them. I mean, did you kind of feel that while it was one of the worst parts of the game, it may have at some point gotten the kids to that level to kind of sort of win one for Darrell, if you will?
Yeah, without a doubt. We like you said, you don't want to see a kid go down with the injury like that. But there was no doubt in my mind that we would not win that game. And our kids, they were going to fight their tails off in order to make sure they won it for Darrell. So, and it happened. And the team is going to use it for motivation going forward. So, we much rather have them. But we're going to try to, turn this into a positive as best we can.
Talking with Elijah Brooks tonight on High School Football America, head coach at DeMatha High School. He's an alum, took over when he was 27 years old, and has done a wonderful job there. A couple of he's won back-to-back Washington Catholic Athletic Association Conference championships. They're 1-0 after the big win over Miami Central. You had a lot of kids coming back, 18, but you had a quarterback there in Bo English who was taking control of the offense, a couple of touchdowns running, a couple throwing, played a big role in that game. So tell me how you thought Bo did and where you think his upside could be this year as far as improvement between game 1 and 2.
Bo had a fantastic game. You could definitely see the growth from him from last year. Just had a great command of the offense, got us in the right plays many times, threw the ball with confidence, and then just brought, that intrinsic leadership, those intangibles that you want out of your quarterback. So, we're hoping he continues and builds from game 1 and continues to lead this team.
Again, it's probably hard to point to any one kid because it was a total team effort in Saturday's win against Miami Central. You guys have, the staff, you've had a chance to break down the film. Let's get some names of kids in here that you thought just absolutely stepped up and did a wonderful job, whether it's on the offense or defensive side. Let's give some kudos and get some names in here for your kids.
Well, definitely, I want to highlight our defensive side of the ball, who definitely set the tone and kept us in the game. So our bookends at defensive end, Shane Simmons, All-American performer, going to Penn State. Chase Young, who was named, the player of the game on Saturday. Sophomore Austin Fontaine as a D tackle, really. Held it down on the inside and had a blocked field goal, which turned into 7 points. And senior captain Sean Olawatimi did a fantastic job. I can talk about my entire defense. It was a true effort on the defense side of the ball. Those guys did a fantastic job. Offensively, you had running back Lorenzo Harrison, who's a University of Maryland commit, who had a game-changing play on the punt return that got us in good position to score our first touchdown. We talked about Bo English at quarterback. And then you can't forget about the offensive line, who did a phenomenal job in protection and helping to get the running game going. Terrence Davis, Elijah Johnson, and Vic Throler with Timmy at center, and can't forget about Marcus Minor. So, again, I can go on for days. There's a lot of praise to give out, but those are guys that definitely stood out.
Yeah, and I did the same thing with Chris Jensen down at Euless Trinity, especially when you play the first game of the season and you get that whole 2-week period to kind of focus, or you really have a whole year sort of to focus on Miami Central, just like they did De La Salle. Let's not leave out your staff either, because they did a great job to prepare these kids. So let's kind of tout your staff here a little bit, get some names in there, guys that it wasn't you. You're getting all the glory. You're on the show here and all that, but who are some of those guys on the staff there that deserve the credit too?
Yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, we're only as good as our assistant coaches, and I have to start with our defensive coordinator, Dino Campbell, who's one of the best in the country. He coached me here at DeMatha. Has been coaching over 30 years. Did a fantastic job. Also on the defense side of the ball, Marco Hardy, who really broke down Central's game plan and what they wanted to do. Fantastic job on the defense. Offensively, our offensive coordinator, Mark Goodson, Dartmouth grad. He was a quarterback coach until I promoted him to offensive coordinator. Did a great job of calling plays. And, so all the way around, our staff, man, they put in so much work to get prepared for Saturday's game, and they put in so much time, and I'm just glad to have them a part of our program.
Elijah Brooks on the line, DeMatha High School, taking front and center here on High School Football America. And, Coach, I mentioned you took over the program. You're an alum, 27 years old. You've been there since 11, so now you're kind of a veteran. Where do you think you've improved? I mean, you took over a program at a young age. How have you improved? Where have you improved as a head coach?
Definitely, you learn every single year, and every team is different. I definitely think that I've always had a good feel of the team and have the respect of the players. But I learn so much each and every year from, mistakes made in games, whether it's, calls, whether it's personnel decisions. Every single year, you learn something new. You try not to make the same mistakes, and you try to learn from guys who've been in the program, been in coaching for so many years. So I go to so many clinics, and you can never stop learning the game, So every year I learn something new or multiple things that just help me with my craft, and I just try to get better every day. I'm still I have a long way to go. I'm just, taking it one day at a time.
Talking with Elijah Brooks tonight, DeMatha High School's head coach. Big win over Miami Central on Saturday. Big game coming up this week against American Heritage out of Plantation, and then you get a little week off before LaSalle and all that. So let's also kind of discuss a couple of the things that you're going to work on here. Coach Jensen at Euless Trinity said, he finds the biggest improvement during a season to be between game one and game two, because you finally got to go full speed last week. Do you feel the same way, and what are you working on heading into Saturday's game?
Well, I definitely hope so. As coaches, they always say, your biggest improvement is from week 1 to week 2, and I'm certainly hoping so. I didn't think our offense got in a rhythm until the second half of this last game. I don't think we can afford to do that against an explosive American Heritage team. We're going to have to come out from the very beginning and be able to control the ball and do some good things on offense. We have to cut down our penalties. We had around 11 or 12 penalties, over 100 and something yards and penalty yards. So we cannot do that on the road against a nationally ranked team. It just can't happen. So I'm definitely hoping that we cut out all the personnel issues getting on and off the field. A lot of the penalties that we made, and just the execution issues that we had in the first week. It has to improve in week 2. if we're going to be successful.
And then let's just wrap up, since we got a national audience here listening, and I know it's down the road, the last regular game of the season, but you tend to meet the last game of the regular season and then again in the postseason, usually for a championship, the arch rival Good Counsel there. For the people that don't know the rivalry between DeMatha and Good Counsel, let's give them a little bit of a snapshot. You two guys see each other a lot and you respect, but I'm sure it's a good heated rivalry. So give the listeners a little bit of a snapshot of it.
You know, we have been battling for over the last 15 years, and just, you know, a rivalry in which both programs respect each other, well coached. All the kids have competed since they played in youth ball, and there have been competitive games that usually go down to the wire. We're fortunate to, you know, have won the last 8 out of 12 championships. They won the 4 of 12, and you know, no matter what the records that we'll have going into that last game, it all goes out the window. You know, we face off, and there's always a hard fought game, and you know, if you win the regular season matchup, you know, you don't have much to look forward to because you're likely to see them in 2 weeks. You know, so it's just one of those things where we cannot afford to have a letdown at all until we reach the end of November.
Yeah, you play too close together for that. Elijah Brooks on the line. Last question, Coach, and you know, back in the day, and I think most coaches will use coach speak on this, which is it is a game at a time, and if we win all our games, you know, mythical national championships take care of themselves and all that. But it's kind of changed, I think, through the years. Actually, Coach Smith down at Miami Central told me when I saw him a couple of weeks ago in Miami, you know, we're playing for a national championship. Your win puts you in that position, being ranked as highly as you are in the USA Today Super 25. Can you kind of give us a little bit of a quote here, what a national championship means, or is it something as a coach you just like, guys, don't look at that stuff?
Well, it's something that we definitely look at. I'm not going to hide or run away from it. It's a goal that, you know, we set for our program. And, you know, we've done well regionally, but we really want to take our program to the next level, and it's a carrot that we're definitely chasing. I mean, it would mean a lot that it's something that it has not been done here at DeMatha with all of our accomplishments. So it's something that we talk about. It's something that is a great goal to keep our guys focused, and you know, it would mean the world to our program if at the end of the season we could say that, you know, we finished number one in the polls.
Coach, well, you know, you've got the schedule to do it. You obviously picked up that huge win, a big week ahead. We wish you success and safe travels and a great 2015 ahead. Thanks for joining us on the show tonight.
Hey, I appreciate it. Thanks again.
This portion of High School Football America brought to you by Echo 1612. Coaches, if you're not using instant replay on your sidelines with Echo 1612, you're behind your competition. Check them out at echo1612.com. Well, it's become a yearly occurrence. Right around the beginning of September, we bring in Mark Soto, the co-founder of the Honor Group and the Honor Bowl that will be played this weekend in Southern California at Oceanside High School. Oceanside, the alma mater of Junior Salle, Hall of Famer now, of course, and the tragic story there. But today we're going to focus on the what is a great weekend of high school football, but more importantly, when it comes to this game, it's also about honoring the nation's military. Camp Pendleton right around the corner from Oceanside, and Mark Soto has just done a wonderful job of growing this. And by the way, let me just, before I bring Mark in here, let you know the lineup. It's a good one. Friday night, 2 games. Colony from California, one of the top teams out here. Alamania is ranked in our SoCal top 25 at number 11. Then Oceanside taking on Eastside Catholic from Washington. They snapped Bellevue's 67-game win streak last year. They're ranked number 37 in the High School Football America preseason top 50. Then on Saturday, Oaks Christian, coming off a huge win over Notre Dame of Sherman Oaks last week, takes on Cathedral Catholic, a great program from the San Diego area. And then the cherry on top of the Sunday, 7:30 Saturday night, Corona Centennial nationally ranked at number 6 in our poll against Sarah, number 5 in the SoCal Top 25. A great lineup, but again, for a great cause, and Mark Soto is on the line. Welcome back, Coach. Glad to have you here.
Jeff, it's always a pleasure, man. You're a great friend. You've become a warrior with our cause. And thank you so much for having me on.
Well, thank you for those kind words. And, folks, I've seen Mark in person. It's like the military, your staff of volunteers there. It's military precision to get this thing off and go, and I know that. And, the games speak for themselves, but whenever we have you on here, we really want to talk more, military first. And I know on Friday, tomorrow, I'm going to be able to join you and the teams that are going over to Pendleton. So let's start there with this weekend and what it means and how you tie these football games into a celebration of America's, the people that are defending us now and the veterans.
Well, the event all came together from the passion of a father, and that's, myself and a coach, a football coach. And, I have a son that's an injured Marine. I have another son that just retired out of the Army. And it was because of their deployments that I saw them go while I was coaching on the football field on. And, many friends were killed, many friends were wounded, that we decided that we'd put this event together to honor the men and women of our own armed forces. Today, so many kids they get lost on what a hero looks like. It's not Batman, it's not Superman. We believe it's the men and women of our own forces that fight for our freedom. So what we do is we bring these teams into Southern California, right near the beach. And because of our location right near Camp Pendleton, we have an excellent relationship with the Marine Corps. The buses that the teams arrive in come early, and they're able to tour the Wounded Warrior Battalion at Camp Pendleton. And this is a very, very emotional tour. They go through the therapy center. They get talked to by commanders. They're met by a Gold Star mother whose son was killed in 2010. And she inspires them about the story of her son, by the way, who was a football player. So we wrap it all in, and the kids take that tour. They get a free lunch. And then later on that night, all 4 teams that are taking that tour play their games. Nobody wants to lose this game after that tour. It is really inspiring and emotional, and you'll see, Jeff, firsthand, because I know you're attending it this year. It's extremely emotional, and these kids leave ready to go and get on that gridiron and play. So Friday night's going to be great. We're honoring Junior Seau's family, as you know, Hall of Fame NFL football athlete, well known in Oceanside High School, went to that school, and we want to give tribute to the man that is so loved out here in this community. So we're going to do something real special for him and his family out on the football field. And then we've got American Sniper, the gentleman Scott McEwen, who wrote the book American Sniper, is also going to be there, and he's bringing some special guests, and not to let it leak out, but it's going to be a great Friday night here in Oceanside. And I know I've been walking around to some of the stores here, and they see me with my shirt on, and they're talking about it. The community's abuzz for Friday night. And then Saturday, we reenact it all into another 2 games that, it's going to be a stellar Saturday event with Cathedral Catholic and Oaks going at it. And by the way, they demanded that rematch last year. They were in our event last year, and as they were walking off the field, both coaches walked up to me, thanked me for being in the event, and said, "We want to do this again next year. We want to re-rack," because they played right to the final minute.
I remember.
Right? And then it was an amazing, exciting game. And then the marquee game, Jeff, between Sarah and Centennial. I mean, you already talked about Centennial's ranking in your poll. Other polls have them at one of the top 3 in the nation. And I've been talking to their coaches. We had several talks with their coaches yesterday. These guys are jacked up. It is going to be an amazing night. Sarah's going to be debuting their new Nike uniform that nobody has seen. And evidently Nike made a special uniform for them for this event. So we're excited. It's going to be a great night.
Yeah,
great 2 nights.
Yeah, it is. I had a chance to see, by the way, Corona Centennial in their scrimmage against Santa Margarita. They look real good, that's for sure. And Corona's probably ranked higher. We just don't do our first set of rankings until Sunday because of our algorithm. So yeah, the Huskies are better than their preseason number 6. We're talking with Mark Soto tonight on High School Football America. We're talking the Honor Bowl at Oceanside High School in Oceanside, California. A beautiful community, great facility, and again, it's more about having high school football honor our nation's military. And you're right, Mark. I'm going to enjoy Friday morning. Going to be a little early, but I'm going to go and enjoy that emotion and get to see it. Let's talk about you mentioned already that Oaks Christian and Cathedral said, hey, we want to do this again. We want to go head to head again. I know a lot of these teams in the field. I know Corona Centennial, Matt Logan just loves what you guys do. Sarah played Bellevue from Washington last year. Oceanside's been in there. Tell me a little bit about why you think it is that these coaches go out of their way to be a part of the Honor Bowl, for many of them for several years running.
They love the education. These are all student athletes, right? They're in high school, they're studying, they're playing sports. I've had principals, I've had coaches, I've had booster moms and dads. I mean, the emails we get, the kids or the student athletes leave educated, and they leave with a new sense of pride. When they walk off that field, they have innocently given back by their athleticism in saying thank you to our military veterans. And we go in the locker room with a drill instructor, and they hear that from the drill instructors about how important this game is to the veterans that are in this community and up in those stands. And you're honoring them innocently through your play. The athletes and the coaches, they leave educated. That's why Matt Logan, when he was putting his schedule together early in the year, he called me and said, Coach, we're being invited to places around the nation, but we want to be in your event every year. Every year we want to be your event. I've heard that from Altenburg over at Sarah. I've heard that from Riddell over at Oaks Christian. They love the inspiration, the education behind the event, and that's what we're all about. Our motto is, it's more than a football game, and that's what we want to get across.
Mark Soto on the line on High School Football America tonight, the Honor Bowl in Oceanside. If you're anywhere near, check it out. It is great football. The pomp and circumstance that you put on. I know the skydivers last year, the ceremony, and you're going to have to help me out here because I'm probably going to misspeak it. But I remember the presentation of the helmet and the rifle. What is that called? I remember you did that before the Bellevue Sarah game last year. There wasn't like a peep in the house during that. Can you explain that to the listeners?
That was a magical part of the whole event, and we plan on doing that again this year. What we do is we have Gold Star parents that have lost their kids in war. They come out and they build what is called in the military a battle cross. Extremely emotional, highly ceremonial, usually not done unless you are at a military funeral or if you're on a military base and someone has been killed in action. Well, the education aspect of what we're doing at this event, we want to get that across. So we build that cross again, and none of those athletes or communities have ever seen the emotionalism behind that. You saw it, Jeff, and you felt it. There wasn't a dry eye in that stadium, and we plan on bringing that back both nights this year because it was so tremendously impactful, and I heard so much greatness about that we plan on doing this. And by the way, let me tell you something, Jeff, and I know this radio show hits a lot of people. We are always looking for teams, always looking for people that want to be involved with some of that. And if there's anybody out there that's listening, please contact us because the event is growing, and we're very open to hearing from teams across the nation that would like to take the trip to San Diego. We're 5 blocks from the beach. My God, buddy. So we'd like to get more teams involved from across the nation so that their kids, their coaches, their community can become educated.
Yeah, no, and that's actually what I was just going to ask you. I personally have reached out to our friends at Good Counsel in Maryland, one of our top 25 teams this year, and they're definitely going to call you about this coming up, and you're right. I think there's nothing but the sky's the limit here. Hey, one of the things that you won't say, and I always say this, and I think this is important, and I think people have known me through the years, and, I'm a guy that will speak the truth. Not a big fan of recruiting services, understand their purpose in the sport, and promoters of events. And what I'll say, folks, is, Mark and his staff, they're not taking money. This is a 501c3, which means it's a nonprofit. This is not about trying to, beat their chest and say, look who we brought to Southern California. This is about an event that is truly about education. And like I said, Mark, I always feel like I have to do that because I never want it to be misconstrued. If I'm saying it, that means that, you guys are doing the right thing. And I think that's you started talking about, looking for people to come around, come out here. But can you see this event, growing and one day soon where we'll see that there will be an Honor Bowl in a Florida, in a Georgia, Texas, wherever it might be? I mean, is that sort of the goal that you have in mind?
Yes, there's been talk about that, but I think you hit it on the nose right there. I don't know if sponsors don't like the fact that we're not a promoter type of company, organization, I should say. You're right. All of the money that we raise from the ticket sales, from the sponsors, the gates, all goes back to the promotion of what we're trying to do to help our military veterans. The whole staff is not paid. So we don't have a lot of money that we could offer a Maryland team to fly out, and there's an element of fundraising that they got to do in order to be in this event. But I could tell you this, my friend, we have been approached to take it to other states, but it takes money, and it takes the school and the school district to get involved and wrap their arms around what we do. And more and more are trying to get it. I believe after what they see this year, we're going to see some of that feedback come back in a bigger way. But we would love to do that. We'd also like to have more schools raise their hand to come out here to San Diego. I mean, can you imagine a team from Maryland playing the best of LA? I mean, it's just good stuff, and all of it to raise money for military veterans. It's, I think and they leave educated, Jeff.
Yep.
So,
it's a win-win.
Our mission, and it's working. It's a win-win.
It is a win-win, Mark. As always, we appreciate your time coming on here. We appreciate what you do for the student athletes, for the military. It is a great thing. And folks, please, if you're in the area, check it out. If not, we'll have the video from Friday up on our website. But you're right, Mark. I mean, we need to have the best of the best come out here because we know we've got good teams out here. How wonderful will it be to actually have them all in one spot for a good reason than just to play on television. So, Mark, thank you very much. I look forward to seeing you on Friday and Saturday. Take care.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jeff.
All right, that's going to do it for tonight's show. What a great show it was. I want to thank our guests, Chris Jensen from Euless Trinity, Elijah Brooks from DeMatha, and Mark Soto. Again, if you're in the Orange County area, San Diego County area, Oceanside is the place to be. 4 big games over 2 days and for a great cause. Making sure that you check out all of our partners as well this week. Go to the website, check out all the banner ads, click through to them. We've got Echo 1612, instant replay on your sideline systems. Coaches, you're a dinosaur if you're not using this. You're also a dinosaur if you're not using Crossover to get your game film broken down. It's echo1612.com and Crossover with a K, crossover.com/football for your 5-minute demo. Go to Southern Sports TDI Razor website. It's TDI Razor with a U, R-A-Z-U-R, TDIRazor.com to get your great spats. Keep those pesky rubber pellets from field turf out of your shoes and gives you the great look of spatting without the high cost of tape. Discount on your order by using the code HSFA. Check out ScoreStream. Score along with everybody this weekend. Or just go to highschoolfootballamerica.com to see how your favorite team made out on our searchable scoreboards. And all weekend long, check out USA Today High School Sports, our partner, our media partner, as we share stuff back and forth. You can also hear the 2-minute drill on USA Today High School Sports, and that's USA Today HSS.com. artistfirst.com. Thanking Scott Z back in Ohio for keeping the show running smoothly. For now, this is Jeff Fisher saying good night and good sports from Southern California. You've been listening to High School Football America on the Artist First Radio Network.